Hi, this is Sasha from theautismhelper.com, and this is a product preview of my Community Workers unit for early childhood or special education. So if you've checked out either of my other social studies units, this is pretty similar. So it has a bunch of different activities and materials that'll be useful for a variety of types of learners. If your classroom's anything like mine, you have kids that are verbal, nonverbal, academic readers, and you just want to work on the skill in a lot of different ways. So this unit focuses on a variety of community workers and community worker vocabulary. So there are 12 different flashcards for these different community workers and then some of their vehicles as well. And the flashcards have the definition. These are great to kind of get the conversation started about the concept. The next thing up is a 10-page adapted book, and I have a video tutorial on how this works as well if you haven't used adapted books before, but basically here's the cover and here are the pieces, and you're going to bind this book and put Velcro in each spot, and as you read it, the student will match the community worker to the location of where they work. So I'm a doctor, he works in the hospital, so you would match this little picture of the hospital here. These are great for your non-readers and students that are nonverbal to still kind of make those inferences about the vocabulary. So this is a 10-page adapted book about different community workers. And then next there are 9 different matching worksheets. So some are a little different. These are matching worker to the vehicle. There's 3 different versions of those, matching the worker to their name. And there's a bunch of different varieties of that. And then matching just the pictures of the community workers. So those are nice for some of your more basic learners too, to just match the community workers. Next are filling in the answers. So kind of these go back to the definitions for some of your higher functioning students. So I'm a garbage collector, my job is to, and writing the definition here. So it might be helpful to use those flashcards for these worksheets. There's 3 different versions of that, and then there are 2 different true-false questions. So it's great to work on the true-false skill in combination with this social studies unit. So they'll write true or false for each one. And then these are just simple writing the definitions for the vocabulary terms. And then there are different creative writing worksheets for the different community workers that we're focusing on. So if I were a firefighter, what would I look like? Where would I work? What would I do? So there's one for each of the community workers that are focused on in this unit. And then there are coloring pages. So I just made some basic coloring pages with just the clip art. I realized that I was always adding these to my other units, and I thought that it might be helpful for you guys as well. I like having coloring pages for my students that don't write to have some extra work to do. And also we work on color identification, following directions through these worksheets as well, but it's still in the thematic unit. So there's a bunch of different versions of that. And then there are some higher level following direction coloring sheets. So they'll have to color the ambulance red, color the garbage truck green, so follow the directions on these ones while still using this community helper theme. And then there is Community Workers Bingo. So like my other bingo games, there are 2 levels of playing cards. This is just with the words and then the definition. And then there are 15 cards. So I like the 2 levels because my students like to be in charge of bingo, so it's nice to have the easy version, but I like the harder one to work on that comprehension piece as well. So there's 15 different boards. And then last is the I Have, Who Has. This is one of my favorite games to play. I use this with all my units. Here's a label for the baggie to put the cards in. Laminate these, cut them out, and you pass them out. And if you've never used this game, it passes. I have the police car who has the EMT. I have the EMT who has the garbage truck. So it kind of goes around the circle. This is really great to work on building attention skills while working on the concept. And that is it. It's a 76-page unit full of different activities, so it should be able to have activities that are ready for most of your learners. This is a product preview of Community Workers unit by theautismhelper.com.